Friday, November 5th, everybody. It's Guy Fawkes night here in New Zealand. And she's a going off crackers.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, bang, 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 bang. It's going to go on till about next weekend as well.
What?
So it's never ending. Yeah. Kids just love it. I think it's like, young adults just love fireworks and they just can't get enough. And it just drives everybody crazy.
Yeah. People hate it. People hate it. Dogs hate it. And then people with dogs hate it the most.
Yeah.
You know? You're worried about escaping dogs, horses. It just all goes on the Facebook pages.
Pretty much.
Flooded.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Talkback with Thane and Sophia. We're here till 10:30. Open line Talkback from 10 with Benny Mack. We were supposed to have a guest host on with Benny, but the person couldn't make it. They got some extra hours at work or something, and so we can no longer make it. But Saturdays all go. We've got some new hosts trialing after 10 o'clock on Saturday night, which is awesome. Now, if you want to make a comment, just put it in the Facebook page comment section. It'll show up on screen. We'll definitely acknowledge you. And we want you to go and check out our website, talkback.co.nz. All the shows will be streaming live there. And I'll link you through to our YouTube page where you can catch up on episodes. To go watch the magic once again. Anyway, how you been? Good?
Yeah, good. Busy. Very busy.
Yeah, you are a busy person these days, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Very good.
It's a lot. I'm enjoying it, though.
Awesome. Now, tonight on the show, we've got Yvonne Lorkin from 9 o'clock. I wish that would
be really like Yvonne.
Yeah, me too. That's why she's back. She's such a great chat. Very passionate about wine.
Yes.
And she had her own TV show. We were talking TV shows a second ago because she's really dives deep into the Friday night telly. And so I was reading on her Facebook page, she started a TV show. It could have been her own TV show. So let's quiz her about that. Yes. Also, the guy sent me some marijuana, this stuff, Tiger Drops, Holy Hemp. And I'm kind of thinking about taking it during the show tonight.
Well,
under the telly.
Yeah, well, save me some of that because I've got a sore back. Is it? But it's not. It's not CBD. It's not the THC. It's just the CBD, right?
I'll read you the letter that he sent me, and then we'll go over that together. But about 10 to 10, Benny will be talking to him. Benny knows cannabis back to front, so he's your kind of guy there.
Right.
Andrew, from message here, Andrew David Cronk, where your fireworks, y'all?
I hate fireworks. Is that wrong to say? They're all just a bit like it's a bit hectic. Get away. It's enough. Where is it going? I don't know. I don't want it anywhere near me.
The next door neighbours are letting some crackers off, so I'll go and take the computer. We'll just have a go for a bit of a tour a bit later on.
That's all right.
Okay. Let's go and check out our guest right now. Special guest is here. Shit, sorry, special guest. Hold there.
Thane's done it again.
I've done
it again. He's taken the CBD.
No, it seems that way. We've got to get to Benny first. Benny Mack, everybody. This is crazy. Especially when Benny Mack is premiering some new sunglasses tonight. Look at you.
And did you trim your facial hair as well?
I did actually. I had a bit of a clean-up today.
I like how you've got Lego sponsoring your haircut, though. That is spectacular. Look at that. Sharp.
It's a really like straight white guy look, but with a sassy personality, you know?
Yeah, but hey, don't draw any conclusions about my sexuality on the way that I look. Okay, you asked a question about is it wrong to dislike fireworks? Yes, if you dislike fireworks, you're a bad person. You need to be shut down. You need to be nailed to a stake and set fire to. Fireworks equals good, value, family, fun.
It's right up there with go-karting, Western Springs, and cars going round and round and stuff like that.
A bit of speedway.
There you go. Thank you very much, Benny. We'll check in with you a bit later on as you continuously fact-check the program. Lorkin. Yvonne Lorkin joins us. How are you, Yvonne? Good.
Don't frighten her.
Excellent. Hey, whereabouts are you zooming in from tonight?
Really squinting forward. In Hastings, so I'm in Hawke's Bay, in level 2, and you probably hear there's a lot of fireworks action going on outside my little posse. So I apologise for.
Don't worry, we got it hardcore where we are as well. Welcome to the show, anyway.
But I'm kind of just arrived on the doorstep. There you go. I'm going to show you. Can you see? I've got this is my box.
Yes. Okay.
Now inside this box,
Open it up.
Is this is the kind of stuff that wine writers get sent. Okay,
Yes.
so in this box is like
It's
Wow.
Snoop D-O-double-G.
Snoop D-O-double-G, not gin and juice, but it's this new wine.
He's branched out from gin and
Wow.
juice into
Yeah.
wine. What's he cooking there?
So he's I don't know what that is. This is like 19 Crimes is the wine brand.
Brilliant.
19 Crimes wines in the supermarket.
I've seen this actually.
And-
in
Yeah, and they're kind of interesting because normally, like with the 19 Crimes wines,
Yes.
over the label. I tried doing that with the Snoop one. I didn't get anything. They haven't movied up Snoop's face, so we can try this later if you like.
Yes.
A whole bunch of other stuff in here. I'll just put that on.
Did he give you some merch there?
Some merch, yeah. So
Cool.
there's a t-shirt, some fucking wooden wool. I hate
And
that.
some hay?
God damn, the wooden wool is so bad. So there's a t-shirt, which, yeah, I mean, you know, I live in
19
Hastings.
Crimes.
Don a black
You-
t-shirt, you know.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Definitely wear that. Yeah,
19 Crimes.
it would look bad.
Yeah, it's called
It would
Cali
look bad, but you could wear it.
yeah, I know. Cali Red is the name of the wine, and there's another little box of something.
Candle.
Do you think?
No,
Hemp candle.
I was wishing.
It looks candly.
It does.
Ooh.
It's a glass,
Yeah. Got to
Not any glass though.
a fat bottom glass. Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, with a lid on it.
What?
It's got a lid.
oh, wow! In case you want to drink and drive.
It's like a Snoop Cali Red
Yeah.
sippy cup. So you put
Oh, wow.
something in it. See?
It's a sippy cup. How amazing is that?
Goodness me!
The sippy cup, and you what? Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Wow. What an exclusive. That is awesome.
It's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I wonder if he's committed 19 crimes and then has just made that his thing.
I'm sure he has.
I'm sure. But he seems like a really happy-go-lucky crime committer,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anyone got hurt in his
No,
crime.
no, just misdemeanors.
Just you know,
Yeah.
modern misdemeanors. But it's kind of interesting because it's not like normal glass. It's like black glass. You can't see through it like normally.
And what
Frosted.
type of wine is it? It's like a red wine, obviously.
Shall we pour it and see?
Let's.
Go on then, Lorkin.
Shall we
Wow.
pour it and see? We'll get our special sippy.
Sippy cup.
Sippy cup.
This is great because normally I do this solo. You know,
Yeah.
I don't get to share the joy of,
So
of
interesting.
tasting something new.
And so pouring is just the way you pour. It's just a normal pour.
Normal pour.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's red.
Pour it up, pour it up.
She's red. Fill it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And give it a bit of a swirl because we know we swirl the wine, let all the aromas out.
Yes.
And it's a nice tulip-shaped glass, so it traps the aromas, so they don't just kind of
Fabulous.
fly around everywhere. And it smells. I mean, I don't know how Snoop Dogg smells.
Like weed.
I've never sniffed him. I imagine he smells kind of herbaceous.
Yeah.
And this is kind of herbaceous. It's got Cabernet and some other stuff in it. It doesn't actually say really much about what else is in the wine, but I think it's just a blend of.
Hayden
I
Brown
know,
says
Sam's
wine
just-
up, hose down.
Yeah.
Sam told us guy Snoop D-O double G was once on trial for murder, yo.
Wow.
Oh,
Well,
dear.
then,
But he
well,
seems
then,
so
definitely
friendly.
and why?
Perhaps it was a mistake. We'll write that off as a whoopsie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I'm
for
going
now.
to put my sippy cup on. Let's see if I
Good.
can.
Go for it.
What does that do to the smells?
Here we
You
go.
can't smell it.
We're trapping it.
You're well and truly trapping it. So you taste, because like normally with wine, because I have a Sauvignon here that I prepared earlier. You know, open. You smell it as you drink, as you taste it. So you get everything. This is kind of, it's a bit of a nothing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I wonder if he's got a lovely vineyard that he's
It's nice as well.
Actually, can we hear? Sorry, let's give you some space there. Emma, can you give us like the New Zealand Herald version of that kind of review? How would you kind of flesh it out a little?
Yeah. Okay. So what I'd do is I'd look at it and I'd say, well, it's. I mean, you can't see it, but I would say it's glossy and inky dark, with aromas of bay leaf, bouquet garni, a little bit of armpit sweat, and also, you know, and dusty carpenter's workshop. You know, if you've ever got a dad or an uncle or a granddad who's got like a shed, and they do woodwork, you know, and it all smells like old oil, spilled oil, and dirt and sawdust, and all those lovely, comforting smells. Kind of actually what this smells like, with some smashed up plum and boysenberries and things.
Boy, so, you're telling a good story.
Yeah, it's good. And then you taste it. And it's fleshy and round, and it's got a big booty.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
It's got buxom and it's got a booty. So yeah.
What do they want for that? Is that going to go into like New World or something like that? Is that kind of like a supermarket wine, or is it something you have to?
It's bound to be. Here we go. It's $19.99 a bottle, and it will be in supermarkets, select liquor stores, and restaurants. So there we go. And it says that chances are a fundamental value of 19 Crimes wines, and Snoop Dogg is all about second chances, and that's why. There you go. So that's why he wanted.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Look at him. I mean, he's making a fortune with his cannabis company. He's got his, you know, he's in music. He's a television presenter now and contributor, and now he's got a wine brand. So, long live Snoop.
He's got it all.
Long live Snoop.
Hey, absolutely. What was the TV show that you were on, and how did that run? How did that go?
Oh yeah, so I had a TV show called Thirsty Work, which it ran from, I think we started in 2011, and it ran for about 4 years, and it was like a how would I describe it? Really fun was what it was. It's like a liquid country calendar.
Oh, cool.
Hosted by a chick and a frog. And so me and my little team, and I had the best little crew. We would tootle around the countryside, and we would go and meet all the people behind the drinks that slake the thirst of the nation. So it was like wine was the kind of core of the show, but we would go and see cider makers and craft brewers, the odd distiller, and just kind of go and find out, you know, what their lives were like. And so it definitely wasn't a glamorous sort of program. It was more of a storytelling program, and it was just some disasters, you know, that have happened in their vineyards, their wineries, and their breweries, you know. And we'd cook food, you know, we'd meet the family. We'd just kind of hang out with the kids and find out if they wanted up being a winemaker like mom, or great like dad, or, you know, that kind of thing. We went hunting, fishing, did all sorts of cool stuff. And we weren't funded by New Zealand On Air or anything. It was all kind of self-funded. So you know, it wasn't a show where we made any money or anything. The crew got paid, and that was sort of it. But I just loved it. I loved it because it was, you know, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but there are a lot of people, not just in New Zealand, but around the world, that think that if you make wine, then it's all, you know, it must be Range Rovers and holidays in Fiji and kids and kids and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it's not, you know, I mean, there might be a handful of people at that level, but by and large, they're really just farmers, you know, and they are struggling like the rest of us. And the thing is, it's not, you know, when you're making wine, it's not like making beer or cheese or I'm trying to get it. When you're making, which is just grain and water and hops and malt, so you can tip it out, buy all those ingredients in, and just make some more, right? If you're making cheese and you cock it up, don't worry, cows come in the next day, they give you some more milk, you have another crack. When you're making wine, you've got one shot, right? One shot every year to do it right for those grapes to grow. And if they manage to grow, you know, and you haven't had hail and frost and all that kind of stuff wrecking the vineyard, you finally get the grapes in, they taste all right, then someone can back the forklift into the tank and it all, you know, might get tipped down the drain, or there might be a cock up with the yeast, or something might go wrong. And then you've got to go back to the bank and say, can I have another hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, go for the next year and hopefully work. So you've got one shot only, and it's really full on, and nature is just throwing stuff at you all the time. And yeah, so it's luck, and that's what we were trying to get at. That these wines and are just like you guys, just like us. You know,
normal people.
What a fun thing to do as well.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, it was great. Actually, it was really fantastic. But you know, the interesting thing about television, I don't know if you guys have made television. Have you?
Haven't made any.
Well,
alt TV, but that was not really. Wasn't at my expense.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's funny when you front up it, like we would turn up at the vineyards or wineries or, you know, little breweries or whatever, and we would have our kind of script outline, our story outline, and which had all been kind of agreed to, and we'd be like, right, let's go. And then there'd always be one person that will go, oh, just come and film this and just film that. And I'll stand here and I'll hold this bottle and then we'll pour it here and then I'll run down the vineyard there and you just follow me. And it's like people will just literally think you just point and shoot.
Yeah, exactly. It's so boring sometimes, isn't it? Because you are waiting around, the light's not right, then a truck goes past, you know, can't get the sound.
Yeah. Can't connect with the drone. Where's the drone? Everyone's in the drone.
Exactly. Tony Gardner says Thane tried to make TV. That's true. You got me.
I'll tell you what, Tony. At least he tried. He tried very hard, and it's not easy to do. So he took a big risk. And kudos to you, Thane.
Thank you. It's Alt TV's birthday today, by the way, everyone. Yeah, started it in 2006. I think it died in 2011, but all the music TV died around the same time.
Yeah,
so,
well, I'm an old Max TV person.
Oh, yeah.
Way back.
And do you remember C4? And there was Juice, C4, Max. There was something else as well. I can't remember.
J2.
We had CTV. There was CTV, C4, Max.
Remember M2 after midnight on TV2? Yeah. Then there was Coca-Cola Shakedown, RTR.
What about the charts? You know, on the weekend.
What, the charts?
You know, they do the charts on the weekend, like the top 20 thing.
Yeah.
Oh
another interesting little message here is from Sam Mass Martin. Does anyone think that Yvonne and Sebi would make a great couple? Sebi Woodhouse.
Sebi, you know, I'm an Allcon customer from way back.
Yeah. I used to be an iHug customer.
iHug?
Yeah. iHug and didn't.
Wow.
Yeah. What was that?
The other way around. How did it be? There was some connection with iHug and CB. Was there?
I think so. CB started Orcon and then
Yeah.
sold it for $20 million and then went on a rampage.
Huh. Well, now he's got a luxury lodge up north.
He does. We spoke to him about that actually.
Yeah,
Hey,
It
you know
looks
what?
pretty cool.
we should all
Yvonne,
find that there.
exactly. Well, what I'm thinking is he's all invited us up. We should all go up and you can teach us some wine and, well, me, Sophia will watch. But you've got some non-alcoholic wine though, don't you, Sophia? Some Edenvale wine around?
Yeah, look, I actually tried some last night and I think I broke out in a rash. Is that really pathetic? Like, I used to be able to chug some serious booze and now I have like a pretend booze and I'm like, I've got flushed skin, I'm a little bit itchy, I think my face feels a bit red, I was like,
Well,
yeah,
that's a thing. You're probably
okay, great.
it's a thing because if it's non-alcoholic, it's got lots of different preservatives and things in it, lots of stuff. And was it the red wine that you were drinking?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
Yeah, so probably loads of natural histamines in there as well. And if you ever get allergic to anything, if you get hay fever,
I'm a massive hay fever.
and then that's it. Okay,
Massive.
so here's the thing: like if you get a bunch of grapes, right, and you rub your finger on the grape, you'll see that it's got this powdery bloom on it.
Yep.
And yeast and bacteria things, and when you're making white wine, the skin's taken away, so none of that stuff ends up in the wine. But when you're making red wine, all that stuff on the skins gets mixed in with the juice because all the color comes from the skins.
Yes.
So when it ends up in the bottle, you've got all these microbes and things as well as histamine. And so if you're partial to the odd bout of hay fever or whatever, and you drink that wine, chances are you might get a rash that comes up your neck or on your chest. You might feel flushed, you might be a bit wheezy, you might even feel a little bit crook, sneezy, but headachy. So all you do is you go, okay, I really love that non-alcoholic wine that I drank the other night. It was really tasty. I don't like the reaction, so just pop down the chemist, get a Sudafed or a Claritine, an antihistamine.
Oh, I've got a whole bunch of those in my cupboard.
Yeah, just pop one of those, like an
Excellent.
hour or so before you want to drink, and you'll be sweet.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering, I was like, am I crazy? Is this like post-traumatic stress disorder or something? Like, what is going on here? I couldn't work out. But I also bought one and I thought I couldn't remember which one you had recommended. So I needed to re-ask you that so that I can.
Yeah, so there's the Gießen.
Yes,
right?
that's the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Son.
Pinot Gris and Rosé. Yeah.
Okay,
really
well, I might try one that's white so I don't have that issue.
Yeah, so market.
What's on?
And there's Williams, I think, is the other one.
Yep. I had the Edenvale Pinot Noir last night and it was actually nice. It was great.
So there's loads. Yeah, have you seen all the zero beers that are on the market now?
Yeah.
Loads of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loads.
Like years ago, there was only Asahi Zero, and you could only get it at some weird little specialty stores. It was like not really worth it trying to hunt it down just to have like a zero beer.
They're a bit too fruity for my liking. Like I have a Heineken Zero occasionally, but it's a real fruity beer. So it's I just want one that tastes like beer but has zero alcohol in it. That would make everything easy.
Oh, damn! I should have brought it with me. It's in the fridge. Sawmill Brewery up north in Lee. Yeah. So they've just released a zero alcohol beer, and well, it's not technically zero. It's like 0.015.
That'll do me.
And it is so nice, and it's dry, and it tastes like real beer. It is absolutely delicious. That literally just came out a couple of days ago.
What's it called? Or it would be
Sawmill.
Almost no beer.
Almost no alcohol beer. Yeah, Sawmill. It's not called Zero. It's called something else.
I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah,
hey, Yvonne.
Really good.
They're putting alcohol prices up because they see people can binge on a $7 bottle of wine. It's the cheapest bottle of wine on the market right now. And it's becoming a problem in this country. And so they're going to start whacking up the prices of booze. Are you across there?
Yeah, I was actually listening to an interview this afternoon on national radio or Radio NZ, whatever they call themselves, about it. They had talking as one of the lobbyists. I think it was Wallace Chapman was saying, does it really make a difference? Putting prices up, does it actually really affect the incidences of alcohol harm in any country? And I wish I could remember his name, but this gentleman said, well, in Scotland, Ireland, Wales, I can't remember the other territories that have brought in, these increased prices. He was saying absolutely it has an effect, because it mainly has an effect on those cheaper. So the binge drinking that comes with the really cheap booze in the lower socio-economic areas where there's a lot of booze shops and they're selling a lot of those kind of pre-mixed, cheap premixes and cheap spirits and those kinds of things. Apparently it really affects the prices at that level. But you have another side of the I guess the population that say, well, we're all moderate drinkers. We can have a glass or two of wine with our dinner, and why should we be penalised? We're not all alkies. And I get that too. It's a real thing. But I guess if you're someone that's spending, $19.99 on a bottle of, Snoop Cali Red, or if you're spending $40 on a Chardonnay, whatever, an extra $1, it's not going to make that much difference to you. You're still going to buy the wine. You're still going to buy that expensive single malt or whatever. It's really about targeting the booze at that really cheap end, where
but $1's not that much more.
Not once you sort of get past the sort of $15 bottle of wine, or maybe even $10. I don't know. I have to sort of look at the stats, but once you get past that level, it's like, what's $1? Yeah, I want that bottle of wine. It's delicious. I love it. Whatever. I'll buy it anyway. Yeah. But if you're really if you're really strapped for cash and every single cent counts, and you are desperate for that cheap booze, then maybe that $1.20 is actually going to be the difference between you going, oh, maybe I won't this time. I don't know. But that's where it's targeting.
That's their theory, isn't it?
What
Which
do
I
you
think
think?
kind of leaves a whole lot to be desired, because if they're trying to target people who are, drinking too much, it's not really the right way to do it, because they're still going to drink. It's just going to cost them more and have a financial effect on their family members or whatever it might be. It's just not really the right place to penalize or even address it. It's just so strange.
It is kind of strange, and I wonder what other options there are. And I think I guess we need to look at things like cigarettes. Are people smoking less cigarettes because they're so expensive now?
Yeah, that's true.
That kind of thing are I think that's where they're coming from. Is like there will be a pain point that people go, this is how much I want to get pissed. This is how much I can afford, or this is my bus fare to work the next day, or this is my kids' school.
Yeah,
this is the difference that wins in that power meter at home, or buying some clothes. I don't know.
Changing the subject just quickly, what do you think what is New Zealand's go-to bottle of red? I always thought it was a Devil's Staircase or something.
Oh, okay. So what's New Zealand's go-to bottle of red?
What's the one? What's the lost leader? They just kind of put it at the front.
Is it Rabbit Ranch though?
Oh yeah, classic.
Rabbit Ranch is great. Rabbit Ranch is great, but the Pinot Noir that's always a wee bit more expensive than
the crowd pleaser.
It's a crowd pleaser.
The Hawaiian pizza of wines.
The Hawaiian pizza. What's the bog? I shouldn't use that. Supermarket, like I don't know, like Peak Merlot or something, or
Shingle Peak.
Shingle Peak sounds like a disease.
Yeah, I know.
These places exist, though. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really tricky, actually. I think like there's like Silex white label Merlot or something. You know.
Yeah. Old Silex. I grew up out around there. That's out in West Auckland, eh?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been around for a long time, like forever, sort of 80
Yonk.
years. You know, all those lovely deli families.
Yeah.
You know, all with they came over to make their fortune in you know, Cody gum mining.
Yeah.
Well, not mining. You know, they worked in the swamps. You know, getting the Cody, milling the Cody and getting the gum, and there was a lot of money in it. And they were like, "We're in New Zealand. Where's the wine?" There was no wine in New Zealand. It's like they've just come from, you know, Eastern Europe, where everyone has grapevines in their backyard, and everyone made wine in their shed, and it was just, you know, they had it for breakfast. And they're like, we're in this godforsaken country, and there's no wine. And so they were like, well, they got hold of some grapes, and they made it themselves, and they were all out in West Auckland, and that's how the Silex and the Babbitt
Valley
and
you know, they did all the orchards in Orotea. Like there's a lot of stuff going on, and then subsequently bought up property and done pretty well, actually.
Yeah, we wouldn't have a modern, you know, New Zealand wine industry if it wasn't for those people. If it wasn't for the Eastern Europeans, the Croatians, but also the Lebanese, you know, the Corbins, and you know they're responsible for so much good stuff. It's great. The pictures, you know.
Corbin's such a classic, isn't it? Good old Corbin.
I would never have picked it as Lebanese, though. I know a lot of Croatians and Croatians in wine and you know, in orchards and stuff out west, but I just never connected that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Guys, we're just going to quickly break here for a second. We've got to go to our comments guy. Benny Mack, everybody, here's our fact checking. Good to me.
Absolutely, West Auckland, very famous historical wine country. Of course, Waiheke Island, with its magnificent microclimate, is now considered very, very, very important in wine. Interesting things happen when the price of wine goes up. You spend less money on food, and you get drunk quicker. So it all sort of works out pretty good. But yeah, extraordinary stuff. I actually went to a party in the Corbin household, 21st there, probably about 10 years ago, and pretty interesting stuff. And another time I visited the Corbin homestead there in Henderson, and actually met with I think his name is Alex Corbin, the old gentleman there, and he spoke about the history of the wines, and we actually had a sit-down interview with him in the attic there, surrounded by wine bottles and all relics and the likes. And there's even a theatre with a projection room in that old house, so there's a lot of history there. And the Lebanese and the Croatians, I've been to Croatia. And brilliant place, amazing cuisine, and my mother is partnered up with a Croatian, with a deli. See the deli at the deli.
Very good lovers, the delis.
Benny.
Really good lovers.
And I also worked down in Gibbston Valley earlier in the year, and across at Cromwell, and then over the hill out at Clyde.
And far away.
Worked on Under the Vines. We spoke about that last time, didn't we?
Fantastic.
We did touch on that.
Well, hey, thank you very much, Benny. I think it feels like we were right there next year while you're doing the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, and those are the facts.
Thank you, mate. Benny Mack, comments guy. Those old names, though.
And Lisa Corbin, who had an amazing voice. She used to sing with the Straw People.
Oh, right. Really? Which one was she? The main singer?
The woman?
Wow. Sheesh.
So they had three mates in the Straw People. So and then you had Stephanie Tuavii, and then you had Fiona Mcdonald. who did Trick with the Knife, and
I know Stephanie Talvihi. I used to work with her on a TV show at TV3 called In Focus.
yes, Stephanie was just fantastic, and she worked on lots of TV on kids TV things that I was involved in as well.
You just couldn't get her out of those overalls. She loved chucks and overalls. That was her go-to, and the big curly hair was amazing.
Yeah. And then she was on Shorty Street for a long time.
That's right, she was too. That voice, big raspy voice, it was so cool.
I know. She's doing well, apparently. You should follow her on Facebook. She's having adventures.
Oh, good. I might try and catch up with her try and get her on.
Yeah, you totally
Absolutely.
should. Yeah. So, just to give you a little idea of what I was drinking before the soup.
Yes.
There's two wines from the same producer. I don't know if you've heard of them. Rock Ferry.
Wow.
Yeah. So Rock Ferry is this cool little company, and they've got vineyards in Marlborough and down in Central Otago, and they've got two Sauvignon Blancs. One's called the Corners Vineyard. This is about $30. This is called the Third Rock Sauvignon Blanc, and they're organic, biodynamic, just beautiful. And the thing that I really like about them is that they're made with oak barrels, and normally so get put straight into stainless steel tanks, and that's where you get that tea and capsicum and all that kind of squinty acidity and really kind of fruity kind of tropical flavors. Whereas those are just lovely and toasty and kind of caramelly and just
fantastic.
Super
And
nice.
so when they're biodynamic and organic and all of that sort of stuff, does that reduce some of the antihistamines for people who are drinking alcoholic wine?
No.
Oh, right. What's the thing though? There's like
to them.
there's some sort of pitch that is being thrown out there about reducing that. What is that? Is it a tablet that you stick in it, or you know what I mean?
What you mean, the stuff that you can actually pour into your wine?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a thing called SO2Go, or which is like SO2, which is sulfur dioxide, which is a great preservative for wine. It stops wine turning to vinegar. Like when you're making wine, it stops turning to vinegar. And some people think that that's going to cause reactions and stuff, but it's not
the case.
But anyway, there's scared of something, so I'll create this thing which takes away the imaginary issue and apply it. So there's sprays and droplets and pills and things that you can put into your wine that takes away the sulfur, and supposedly leaves you feeling all perky and afterwards.
Right,
it's
but
really
it's rubbish. It's taking antihistamine.
It's kind of rubbish. Yeah, I just take antihistamine.
Okay, good to know.
God loves a trier, so
I was fascinated with the people that went to SPQR one day, and I was sitting down with a lawyer friend, and he, Johnny K, and he started putting ice in his wine. And I was like, what are you doing? I'm not sure.
How would you do that?
Then here's the weird thing about it. He started putting ice in his wine, and then people around us assumed he was doing something really cool. And then more ice went into people's wines, and it kind of caught on. And I was going, is this for real? I didn't try it though, guys. I just thought it was cooling it down or watering it down.
Doesn't it? It's disgusting.
You've got to stop this misinformation and disinformation from spreading. Like literally, you can't. People that put ice cubes are as bad as Chris nut jobs. Like it is a crime to put ice in your wine. Everyone likes a cold glass of wine, cold-ish. Yes. Some people more than others, but ice, it's water. As soon as you put that in your wine, the ice is going to melt and dilute all the flavor. It's going to taste like cat. It's not good. It's so. So for me personally, I like a chilled glass of wine, and most of the wine that I have here at home, it's room temperature. It's already arrived in boxes. It's sitting in the hallway, ready for me to open. So if I want to enjoy it cold, I've got those. They're called chill rocks, right? Mm-hmm. They're those plastic ice cubes or plastic ice balls that you just keep in the freezer, right? And you just pull them out. You can put them in your wine, and they will cool your wine down without leaching water through it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
And you just throw them back in the freezer, or wash them first. And
Yeah.
So that's the idea behind it. It's just to cool it bloody down.
just to cool it down. But
Yeah.
you don't. Probably is that our white wine's too cold, and we drink our red wines too warm. It's a real. I don't know how it occurred, but it's a kind of cultural thing that
Because in Europe they put the red wine in the fridge, don't they?
Yeah. So when it's so
Yeah.
especially things like if it's a bright fruity red like a Pinot Noir, and if it's been in a warm place like on your kitchen shelf or something, put it in the fridge for like 20 minutes and then serve it. And the cold, just a little bit of a chill, actually brings out all those beautiful florals and spices and delicious flavors. And with your white wine, if you're drinking Sauvignon or actually no, if you're drinking something really fat and gorgeous and full-bodied like Chardonnay or Viognier or something like that, and you take it out of the fridge and you pour it and you go, God, it doesn't smell like anything. There's nothing really happening. And then you sip it and you go, it just doesn't, it tastes kind of steely and weedy and but by the time you get to the second half of the glass, it's actually smelling and tasting really good. And that's because you've been going sloshy slosh, sloshy slosh, diddly do, sloshy slosh, warming up, lots of air, and it's living and becomes, it lives its best life, and it becomes really tasty. So don't, like, if you've had a wine that's been sitting in the fridge for days, weeks, months, whatever, and you want to share it with someone, take it out half an hour, 40 minutes before you actually drink it. Let it kind of warm up just a little bit. And better living, everybody.
How many packages? How many packages do you get per day of wines? People trying to impress you with their wares.
If I could, I swear, I would take my laptop, I would unhook it, and I would take you into my hallway. Actually, can I do that?
Yeah,
of course. Do it.
Literally, what I've had in the last.
This is exciting.
Like literally the last couple of days. So I'll just unplug. Can you still see me?
Yes,
Okay.
gotcha.
Okay. Let's check I'm not connected. All right. Okay. So it's a little bit dark. I'm just going to go and turn the light on in the hallway.
We're with you.
You're still with me?
Yeah, we got you.
That's okay. Wait. I'm going to turn the lights on.
Okay. So it's like a Halloween.
Come up. It does look a little bit like that. Hold on. I need to get
more light.
I'll get my phone torch. Hold on.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to see. I know this is riveting. Sorry.
No, it is. It's good.
Okay.
Check out that wine.
Okay, so can you see?
Yes. I've aimed down a bit more.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So that's just like three or 4 days worth.
Holy moly. Can you aim the computer down a bit more to the ground? Yeah. Oh wow, that's a lot of booze. Holy
So
moly.
that's just a couple of days.
Yeah.
So
Christ almighty.
Yeah. I know. So it's a lot.
What do you do? You're backed up. That's amazing.
So that's kind of how it works. Oh, hold on.
And because how fast would you
Cool.
drink a glass of wine? Like, what's the speed that you would go through a glass?
Well, if I'm sorry, I've got myself
Readjust.
tangled up.
You're right.
Okay.
Adjusting. Well, I don't like when I'm tasting things like that. I would literally just open the bottles, pour a little bit into a glass, sniff, right, taste, right, sniff, taste, spit, and then put the bottle aside, reach for the next one, boom. So it's kind of a bit of a production line, and then I kind of sit back and I go, oh God, what am I going to do with all these wines?
What do you do with them?
That's what everyone wants to know.
Into the neighbors, or I take them, come and drop off wine, and I say, do you like wine? And they'll go, yeah. And I go, take these. Put them so you need to drink them. And yes, I'm kind of like the wine fairy.
That's so cool.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and then I say to my friends, if you have whatever and you need some, call me, let me know, and I'll just literally open wine, do my tastings, and then I'll give them the bottles because
That's genius.
Because I can't drink. I'd be
Surely people would love to have you just as a guest. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you just hosted a drink? So you kind of had like a after work drink that you hosted. We worked our way through a couple of bottles. The cheese ran around the place. There was some cool music going, and it was fantastic. I'm thinking that's a great afternoon.
Yeah, that would be a great afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like, I would love that. It's fun. I do that kind of stuff.
Well, I want to go to one of those.
Do something like that when you're next in Auckland and we're all out of this craziness. I'll bring my geese in. You bring your wine, and we'll sit down, and all the listeners can come, and we can have a merry little cheese and wine festival.
We can have a little cheese and wine festival because there's nothing. I just don't. I love nothing more than to sit around and pour wine for people and sort of find out what they think and talk to them about it. And but then also I also love just sitting around and not picking things apart either. Just going, is this yummy? Yeah, it fucking is. Great.
Yeah.
But they're relying on you and your endorsement, right? You're like the Judge Judy of it all. I mean, the game is you send you the wine. Hopefully they can get a great review out of you. Yeah. And then it's going to go on to sell more wines.
I imagine so. And, you got to be honest. It's like you've got to kiss a few frogs.
Yeah.
They're not all delicious. They're not all fantastic. And you get this a little bit with of the critics, Yvonne's review, Herald, or Dish Magazine, or wherever, or on my website, or whatever they saw, and she only ever says good things, and it's like, well, it's only because I've got space for maybe 3 or 4 wines. That's it that weekend, and I'm pretty sure people want to know what's good to drink.
Yes.
Yeah,
like what's actually going to be delicious.
There's no real reason to put in one that stinks.
I'm not, I mean, that's not really my thing. There, sure, if you go through my website, you'll see there are plenty of wines that I go, actually, a bit average. And but I kind of, just because I don't slate the wines and
you're not a shock jock of wine.
About good news.
Yeah,
I'm not the shock jock, but put me on the spot. And it's just, I'm always honest. Well,
what I enjoy is we get the old fucking shit out of you. The old swear word, which I think is fantastic.
Me too. I'm a massive swearer, so I feel so at home hearing a few F-bombs. I'm like,
yeah, it's so liberating, isn't it?
I said it on the phone to someone who I was talking to for work today, and I was like, how's this going to go down? And I was so lucky she just burst out laughing. I was like, again, okay, I need to update my swear jar. I've got to get some cash out and work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I reckon what we're going to do is this is end up going to be a Voyager long lunch, and we're going to get you up to CB's place, and we'll sell some tickets to it. Make it worth your while, and crack open a couple of the best stuff.
Yeah, we'll do some great wines from around New Zealand. We'll get some really good wines and get some good people together and have a good
Yvonne Lorkin's map of New Zealand. We'll just go through great New Zealand wines.
Yeah,
great attractions. Yeah,
exactly.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. I've got our next guest waiting. Yvonne, it's been fantastic. We're going to have you back again. We'll go and organise some shit and have some fun.
It was really fun, and thanks for coming into my hallway.
Hey, thanks for welcoming us to it. It's an extravagant amount of wine in there. I'm impressed.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
catch you later.
Snoop says bye.
See you, Snoop.
See you later.
Okay, bye-bye. Always good. Always good.
Always good. She's great. I love her.
Hey,
Hey,
before
I
you
have to
leave,
leave.
I know you got to get going. So thank you very much. And we are doing a live Saturday show, but I'll take care of that part. Benny will be there, and there's going to be another host auditioning. So I'm just going to pretty much introduce him, and then Benny's going to love this. This is going to be great. I've
It
got
is
10
gonna be
minutes
great.
before open line talkback. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you for crackers tomorrow.
All right. Bye.
All right, catch you later. Sophia Mantell, everybody. Let's just quickly check in now with Benny Mack. Benny Mack, what's the crack away?
Freaking exciting stuff. Psyched about this next caller. I mean, those facts are very self-explanatory for the next from the previous segment. Let's just move right into it. Let's get this show moving.
Let's do it. Ted Stopford. Now you got to work
Tiger,
through
bro.
that,
Tiger.
mate.
Just call me Tig.
Tig, mate. How are you? Thank you very much for joining us.
Pickety boo. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Hey, so we've got Benny here, Benny Mack. I'm Thane Kirby. You're Tig. Nice to have you there, mate. Can you walk? You sent me a weird message in the middle of the night, and it was saying something about hemp, and we got to do something about this. And I was like, yeah, let's just do that. Start from the top. What's your problem? How can we help? And put the word out there, and then walk me through the old tiger drops because I'm keen.
Thank you, bud. Yeah. Oh, look, it's crazy, and I've just put the kids to bed, so I'm not fully organized.
No problem.
But you know, we all know that cannabis has been around for a while.
Yes, absolutely. Look at that.
We all know it's got some beneficial properties. But most of us don't realize what a sacred plant it is. So this is Jesus healing the blind under the cannabis tree. That's 1,000-year-old mosaic. It's in a holy Roman Catholic cathedral. It was built by a king and blessed by 3 popes. And this cathedral tells the story of the tree of life, right? And here we are in a world where we've got people trying to make millions and billions of dollars off being allowed to grow it and make products from it.
For sure.
But it's still not legal. And you can't grow hemp. Why can't you grow hemp? Everyone knows hemp is safe, and yet for some reason, you still can't grow hemp. And our hemp farmers can't sell it to us either.
It's got a lot of connotations around it.
Hemp?
Yeah.
What are they?
Well, they've been placed there by programming effectively. The connotations with hemp are that it's weed. People don't know the difference between the hemp plant and the plant that produces the smokable stuff. You know, I mean, if you smoked a pound of hemp, all you'd get is probably a migraine headache and a blown out lung. What's your opinion?
No, if you were to smoke hemp, you'd reduce anxiety. And this is the thing as well. Like this is, we all automatically think about smoking with hemp and cannabis, but that's because we've forgotten that this plant is a vegetable. And because we're consumers, and as consumers, we've forgotten how to use nature. And we've forgotten that, in fact, extracts of plants can be medicine, or extracts of plants can be pleasure, or plants can be furniture or food or whatever. With this plant, we just think of it as something to smoke, even though that's just the very, very, very tip of the iceberg.
Well, that's the connotation that I was alluding to. People's concepts of what the possibilities are with this vegetable, as you mentioned, are very narrow. But what have you got? You've got these tiger drops. Is this some sort of is this a drop or a spray? What kind of
Well, let's start with this. So that's hemp medicine. First course in New Zealand for doctors, approved by the College of GPs.
Very
I wrote
nice.
that in 2017.
Well done.
And spent the last 5 years teaching doctors about this physiological system that they don't learn about in medical school. So this is where we come down to the programming that you're talking about, you know?
Yes.
Why does hemp equal human health? And you can see here a quote from the Ministry of Health's own cannabis expert. Cannabis is potentially a panacea, universal cure for overall health maintenance and protection, much like aspirin is used to prevent stroke and heart disease in healthy individuals, because the endogenous, inside your body, cannabinoid system is critical to the body's overall homeostasis, means normal function.
Why are we keeping this down then? Why can't we get this up?
It's really simple, bro. It's really
and who's squashing it? Is this coming from the alcohol companies? What's happening?
Well, I'm not saying I have all the answers, but it was prohibited on the basis of a lie that it caused insanity and murder, right? To remove it from the market.
Yeah.
Then in the 1960s, when Timothy O'Leary, tune in, turn on, drop out, he actually got the Marijuana Tax Act thrown out on constitutional grounds. And that's when the Nixon government then created a new scheduling system. And that said that it had Schedule 1, the highest, most dangerous category, no medical use, even though it's got thousands of years of medical use.
Great.
And a high risk of harm, even though it doesn't have a high risk of harm. So it's just a big lie thing. And then most of us go along with it because we don't know stuff, and because we're being told by serious, respectable people with big jobs and big salaries.
And also, it's like a pair of Nikes. Look, it's Hollywood movie to make. Hollywood makes movies about it. The cast and crew are endorsing it. It's got every kind of like mainstream movie star has a smoke and enjoys it from time to time. It's just incredible that this country, who's skillfully got beautiful brains and can make and we've got the capacity to produce tons of it, lead the world in, that we can just not turn this into a business and monetize it. Somehow it's kept down, and only the gangs again are the only ones really who have got a license to make this and turn over in this country.
Well, not exactly true. Because now it's
tell me.
licensed cannabis companies. Now it's licensed pharmaceutical companies.
It's licensed cannabis companies, but they've only got like permits to do trials, right? I mean, I think there's only one putting stuff out, but you can't even buy it here in the country.
So Helios is bringing stuff out, but their stuff is Dutch isolate that they just repackage here in New Zealand. And the funny thing, here's the funny thing, because I feel like I'm talking to you, I feel like I'm one step removed from Jacinda and the government, and I'd love to know what they're actually thinking, because everything they've done, everything they've done, we're just failing so hard, and all the steps. We had world-leading legislation in 2006, right? 2006, 2008, we had world-leading legislation, and then from 2008 until 2017, it was disabled and suffocated by the Ministry of Health. Then in 2018, we get the Medicinal Cannabis Act, which destroyed those regulations and removed the opportunity for most of us to make and access products. So it's really about money. It's about creating markets. This is the thing. Unfortunately, you could make money off cannabis. You can always make money off cannabis, but they're just trying to make the most money off cannabis by restricting it the most, pharmaceuticalizing it the most. It could be better. And if people understood that it's a nutraceutical, can you see that?
Yeah, please.
So why is cannabis a general medicine? Let's see if I can put this behind that so it doesn't blow through so much. If you can focus on that, you'll see like on the top, you've got neuropathic pain, over other side, neuropathic pain. And you can see there that the endogenous cannabinoids, the cannabinoids inside your body, AEA and PEA, they help regulate neuropathic pain. Well, so do the cannabinoids CBG, CBC, CBD, THC, they're similar molecules, but they occur in food plants, and they're like black pepper. If you like black pepper, that's the common cannabinoid, beta-caryophyllene, right? Cannabinoids occur widely in food plants, but there's only one they're abundant in, and that's cannabis sativa, the plant for which they're named.
And a great band called 8 Foot Sativa from West Auckland back in the day. They really rocked the party. Hey, so talk to me about Tiger Drops. What have they got in them? And if I was to take some tonight, what benefits would I find?
Yeah, I can't actually have that conversation with you, Thane. I'm sorry.
Oh, right. Okay.
I can unfortunately, I can only offer Tiger Drops as a holy oil in accordance with Scripture for anointing your precious objects and making them sacred, or as a novelty cannabis collectible for political discourse.
Yes, of course.
Okay. That makes complete sense. That makes sense to me. And the thing about using it for anointing is that is therapeutically perfect. A perfect way of delivery, is it not?
Peace be with you.
Thank you.
Brother,
and also with you.
From my understanding. Okay. Very cryptic.
I might
have a
myself
formulated
tonight.
line of questioning.
Sorry,
I cannot recommend you anoint yourself under your tongue, Thane, because it's a prohibited food.
Fantastic.
And I'm not going to tell you to start low and go slow and figure it out over a period of time. Because it's a prohibited food, not intended for the treatment or prevention of any disease or condition, not anxiety, not stress, not pain, not sleep, not nothing.
Okay. Well, if it's not going to do the trick on sleep, then I'm not interested. So thank you very much.
Good. Very good.
Excellent. Hey, the Hemp Foundation, and how do we support those guys? And what are they doing for this world?
Cheers, bud. Thank you for asking. So the Hemp Foundation's my baby. That's so my mum's got my mum, my dad, my stepdad, my family have had a series of chronic illnesses, and Helen Kelly really got me into the whole education space when she started campaigning for medicinal cannabis back in 2016, I think it was. And I wanted to see what I could do to support. So I identified that, Peter Dunn was blaming doctors for not prescribing. So I set out to educate doctors on, why cannabis was useful and should be prescribed. And basically that led to this whole untaught physiological system. And then 5 years of graft doing that, spent over 30 grand of my own money, and I don't have much because I'm a school teacher. And then through all that process, I figured out a way to bring Tiger Drops to market. So Tiger Drops are New Zealand's first legal hemp extracts. And the goal is that this will allow me to support the kaupapa of the Hemp Foundation. And that kaupapa is to educate. I've written a biology course for high school students. I launched that last year at the National Science Conference. Wow. I've got this course for doctors, but educating doctors for free is really expensive.
Yes. Right.
So the deal with Tiger Drops is it's something I'm really proud of. It's something fully legit from a political, social, legal. It's based on Scripture. I'm going to continue to improve it, and hopefully that will allow me to take the Hemp Foundation up into a professional level, because it's been really satisfying and hugely enjoyable and just really, really hard.
What's with all the books behind? Can you take us a little tour in your office? It looks like it's very involved there. You've got a lot of books and brochures.
This is the garage, bro. Well, behind there, that's all family stuff, really.
Okay,
I've got a bunch of books over here. I've got a bunch of books over there. The thing people don't get is we all know, and I don't know how much people want to geek out on stuff on a Friday night, but everyone knows food is medicine, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've all heard it. Food is medicine. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Food really is medicine. And the key word for the foods which are best for us is nutraceuticals. They're foods that have health benefits beyond nutrition, right?
Yes.
And of them, cannabis is the queen. Cannabis is the queen of nutraceuticals. And people have heard of essential fatty acids, right? Oh, they're essential. Fuck, they're essential. How essential are they? They're fucking essential, because all of our body's own medicines are actually made from omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, right? But because of our diet in these rich countries where we eat all these junk foods and takeaways, the system, our endocannabinoid system, gets turned upside down, and it goes from being an anti-inflammatory system to being pro-inflammatory. And that's why we have, obesity, diabetes, spike in, all sorts of terrible lifestyle diseases, because we turn our system of health upside down by just literally feeding it stuff in the wrong ratios. And funnily enough, hemp is actually a perfect food for feeding your endocannabinoid system. Hemp seed, hemp oil, perfect fuel for your body's own medicines. And then the fact that hemp or cannabis makes cannabinoids, those are the direct molecules. Do I have one here? Let's see. I love this one. Where are we? Yeah.
Love and light. Fuck the system. Very good.
That's Jesus whipping the money changers out.
Is this something Brian Tamaki could get into?
Oh, fuck him. Yeah, nah, fuck him.
Fuck that guy.
But yeah, maybe. So the deal is, I'm going big with Tiger Drops. I just ran my second campaign on BFM. I tried George, but they didn't reply to my emails.
You know what? And I really apologize for that. That place has really turned into the McDonald's of, kind of radio stations. And it's a real shame because this is what George was all set out to do too, work together with owner-operators and get some products up.
Well, this is the thing. And this, I really think that what I'm doing is kind of important,
Most definitely.
And here's the funny thing, right? Everyone's heard of CBD, yeah? Cannabidiol. Yeah? You heard of CBD?
Yeah,
CBD.
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So sorry, if I was more organized, I've got these amazing things. CBD is useful for anxiety, stress, cancer, a huge range of things, right? And CBD, even though it doesn't directly work on your cannabinoid receptors, one of the it does work on some of them, but what it does is it's a FAR inhibitor. It basically lifts the level of your body's own cannabinoids in your own body. So it boosts your body's own cannabinoids by not having them recycled as quickly. So it gives you a lift. And because because your body's own cannabinoids resolve inflammation, because your body's own cannabinoids regulate normal function, that's a really useful thing. And Johnson & Johnson spent millions of dollars trying to make what's called a FAR inhibitor like CBD. And they killed some people. Right. They killed some people. But
wouldn't be the first time.
Hey? Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time that Johnson & Johnson killed people.
No. Have you heard about the asbestos in their baby powder?
Oh, yeah, mate. Nothing like the smell of walking into your mum's bathroom and there's a cloud of talcum powder, eh?
The Caring brand.
Well, it's a family company, isn't it, Johnson & Johnson?
It's all designed for babies. It's supposed to be, it's a family company. It's the sort of stuff you put on your newborn. The most trusted brand.
Yeah. Asbestos for 40 years.
Hey, just quickly, some questions here. Dylan Calder, how much of Helios? I don't know what that means. Dylan Calder, does Peter Dunn own any shares in this or something like that?
Oh, fuck no. God, no. He's a rapper.
How are you funding yourself? How are you getting up and how are people supporting you? How are you making this happen? Because from the get-go, the websites look professional. You've got your facts and figures and people like to see numbers and bold, italic and Times Roman fonts. And the website looks very, very good. So,
Thank you.
That takes a lot of money, right? And effort.
No. So my first $7,500 medical conference I got to by selling raffle tickets on Ponsonby Road until midnight most nights.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what were you raffling?
I had.
pack.
Hey.
A meat pack.
My mate James, who suggested the raffle, suggested the meat pack. But I had some hot sauces from Otis and
Nice.
Sarah. I had
yeah.
5 years ago. Well, I had some really mint prizes actually. I had some good prizes, but just stuff I scrounged up from good. Oh, Blue Breeze gave us a $500 dinner or something.
This is the hot sauce that I use and recommend on the show. Sweet Baby Ray's buffalo wing.
Nice.
Sauce.
I'm a sriracha man myself, but I'll give it a go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was a food raffle. It had bits and pieces in there.
No,
some
not a
hot
food
sauce.
raffle. It was. I had accounting services from Cleaver and Co. and Crummer Road. I had a range of things.
It was a
I
mixed
just tried
bag.
to get as much as I could, and then after
So
that,
where did that get you to?
that got me to the North Island GP conference, which is the
so
biggest medical conference in New Zealand. I have I have one of the biggest stands there actually, because I reckon.
Oh, you had a stand there. Perfect.
Yeah. I've had
So
5.
you did you used to have the shop, or was that someone else that had the shop in
Oh
Grayland
yeah.
there?
Up in
It's like a barbecue
Sorry,
now.
Chris. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a squat, mate. That was a squat. I saw it was empty, and I figured out who owned it. And because I had all these big conference banners from my big education banners, and I just thought, It's empty, it's free, it's on arterial, there's a referendum coming. I put the signs up, why can't you grow hemp on the street for people every day? I had the Attorney General of New Zealand, David Parker, walk past that every day. And Barbara Moore, Jacinda's right-hand woman, walked past it every day on the way to the office.
Hey, mate, we've got Andrew David Cronk says, if this product was not his own and was something from overseas, what would be the effects of that overseas product that is clearly not his?
I like that. That's an excellent question, sir. So I make a range of products. Oh, well, sorry. To answer that question exactly, cannabigerol is a molecule of interest. It is a CB2 partial agonist, which is the central nervous system and peripheral organs, immunoregulation, among other things. And it's a partial CB1 agonist, which is the brain, central nervous system. It's indicated for cannabigerol overseas. People are finding evidence for it for use in anxiety, stress, depression, mood disorders like bipolar, breast cancer, prostate cancer, pancreatic cancer, heart ischemia, Crohn's disease, Lewy body dementia, inflammation, other stuff like that. In Europe, CBG is now a cosmetic ingredient as well, and it's going through a process of being recognized as a novel food. In the USA, it's commonly sold as a dietary supplement. Yeah.
CBG. Wow, that's a new one.
Yeah, we make more than 60 cannabinoids in our body. The cannabis plant, hemp, makes more than 180. Cannabigerolic acid is the first one, and then all the ones you know and love come down off that.
Okay.
Yeah,
this is good.
Bloody marvelous, mate.
The show is going to support you. We are going to be right behind you. Anything that you've got,
thank you.
That you've got something new that you want to talk about and bring and chat about anytime, you just let me know. The platform is yours. And the other good thing is we're expanding. So we're going to be like 6 nights from 8 till midnight type thing. So you can jump on every show. We are citizen journalists.
Yes.
Open
dying breed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Thane. Thank you, Benny. I really appreciate it. Because the thing is, each one teach one. What the thing is, right? If I can not be boring, I'll try. CBD was legal in New Zealand. CBD was unregulated. You could have brought in kilos, okay?
Yeah.
And then through unethical and what appears to have been potentially illegal actions, the Ministry of Health made it a controlled drug like cocaine, oxycodone, OxyContin, and against the advice of its own experts and the ESR, the government's own forensic laboratory, right? The Ministry of Health made this compound with no scope for abuse into a controlled drug as if it was penis,
Wow.
Yep.
And then from there, they made it prescription, but it's all rubbish. It's all
and
rubbish.
Was that around that 2018 that you mentioned, or when did that? When did they?
2016. In 2016, They made it a controlled drug,
Okay.
and the way they did so was dodgy as.
Right.
But they're in charge. MedSafe is King Kong. They say it's not in the public interest for us to disclose.
Wow.
Hey, all right. We trust
Very
you.
concerning.
Yeah. Hey, well, mate, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And thanks for the anointment and the oil.
Do you have any more? Do you have any more time this evening to continue the discussion going at all? Because my show keeps going on for another half an hour or so.
I'm here now. I can do some work. I've just had a long day of kids and work, but I'm happy to hang around, bro.
Fantastic.
Yeah, cool. That would be fantastic.
Guys, This is my stop here. I'm going to get off, but all the best, and we'll be in touch. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Cheers, Thane. All the best, mate.
See you, mate. Okay,
Cool,
bye-bye.
thanks. Okay, well, that was Thane Kirby with another episode of his Talkback show. What an amazing show. All right. Yep, you made it. We are here. You have most certainly arrived. And thank you so much to Thane and Sophia for their spectacular show. We're here. We are live. It is your brother, Benny Mack here. And you're talking smack with Benny Mack. I've got an amazing guest here, Tig. Welcome back, and thanks for joining me on this evening's broadcast.
Thank you, Benny. Pleasure to be here with you.
Bloody incredible. Now, so if you're just joining us now, have a look back. There's been a huge discussion around the cannabis legislation here in New Zealand, and hemp legislation, I guess, as well. Lots of points have been made. Pretty incredible stuff. Let's turn to the chat room specifically and turn to them, lean on them, in fact, and ask them for some questions, because I think it would be great if anyone's got any questions. We want to be able to answer them for you here and now. So how were you received at the GP's convention that you had a stall at?
Oh, really good. I've done 5 of them now. The first 3, there were no medical cannabis companies there. It was just me. And yeah, I had a huge cannabis plant. I had
perfect.
Had serious graphics. I had several hundred research papers, so people could come to my stand and actually, because I'm not there to sell a product, I'm there to inform them about the field, and so they could get a real sense of the field. And then over the next 5 years, I surveyed them all every time I went. I got all this really powerful data. I mean, basically, doctors who understand it think that you should be able to grow your own. Right. But
yeah, absolutely.
Could I get that published?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's the hard thing, trying to get any I guess registered doctor to make a formal statement, or how does it work?
Well, getting it published, mate. Getting it published is the problem.
No, what do they call these? Health magazines or some sort of
NZ Doctor. Yeah,
NZ
Doctor is the magazine. They published one data point, which was that 89% of doctors had never heard of the endogenous cannabinoid system that regulates normal function. Yeah, yeah, 89%.
They'd never heard of it. So they're sort of right. So it's kind of.
And the 11% who've heard of it don't know what it does or how it works. They've just heard of it.
And they do, and there's no interest.
That's not true. But at the end of the day, doctors have quite complicated jobs with a lot of responsibility, and they're generally risk averse. So, what they prefer to do is wait for what is recognized as evidence within their field. And over time, that's, doctors used to be clinical. They used to practice in the clinic.
Right.
This piece of close print is the Lancet. Lancet's like one of the most prestigious medical journals in the world, been around for a long time. And this is actually Queen Victoria's doctor, who was instrumental in inventing much of some important stuff of neuroscience. And he's writing here on the therapeutical and toxic effects of cannabis indica.
Yeah.
I have been led by more than 30 years experience of the drug, right? For 30 years, he prescribed it. He gave it to Queen Victoria. He gave it to her for menstrual pain. He gave it to her for menopause.
Perfect.
He gave it to people for mental conditions, sensorial conditions, for pain, for muscular conditions. And it was one of the most commonly prescribed drugs in Europe and the USA for about 40 years. So it's just it's quite remarkable that we can go from one of the most widely prescribed drugs in the world, and for over 100 conditions. For over 100 conditions, that's remarkable. And then you scroll forward to us here now in the free West, in the age of the information superhighway, and there's no evidence.
Absolutely bonkers. We've got a question from the chat room. That's incredible in itself. Okay, here we go. Is holy water? Oh no, is the holy?
Oh, the holy oil.
Yeah, is the holy way the only way to market this?
I sense competition. I don't know. I don't know. So I offer it as a holy oil in accordance with scripture, and as a novelty cannabis collectible. I expect, the Ministry of Health's been busy with a bunch of stuff lately, as everyone knows. The legality of it is yet to be ascertained.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no one in the industry thinks I can do what I'm doing. No one in the medicinal cannabis industry thinks I can do what I'm doing. But I've been doing it for over a year so far, and I'm trying to go harder, higher, and faster. And in the mad idea of trying to get people to wake up to the possibilities and make a difference.
So on that front, you were saying that you educate GPs for free. What is your method of educating them? How do you reach them?
So medical conferences is the number one.
Right.
Go to those conferences, take a 6-meter stand full of infographics, full of that. But from that first year, I realized, like, I was shocked and stunned at how little people knew, like really shocked and stunned. So from that, I sort of ate the elephant and wrote a course for doctors then and submitted it for approval by the College of GPs.
Yes.
And then I ran.
How did that get on?
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
It was well received.
Yeah, well received. But again, like when you're a relief teacher and you've got 2 small children, it's just expensive and hard and a hassle. So I ran a few physical courses. But really, my focus has been on just getting digital out and trying to get the resource to take the Hemp Foundation website up to the next level.
Right.
So it could
that
be,
makes sense.
An integrated learning environment. And again, like my plan is to make it available for free, because I think the knowledge needs to be out there. And if people choose to make a koha, great. But I think it's important not to rely on other people. You hope that they will help and support, and I've been really lucky in the last 5 years. People, not many people, it's true, but people have supported my work so that I've raised about 15 grand from my give a littles and stuff like that's helped me get to these conferences and do this mahi.
That's perfect.
Yeah, well, it's been man, I couldn't have done it without the help of people.
Now, I noticed that there is a button there, join the foundation. Talk to us about what it means to be a foundation and what it means to be a member of the foundation, and things like that, whether it's free to join.
Yeah,
or whether...
it's completely free to join, mate. Completely free to join. Look, at this moment, like the base thing is each one teach one, learn and share. Upskill yourself on the subject. So with the Hemp Foundation, I can talk science. If someone has a condition, a disease, they can write to me at the Hemp Foundation, and I can offer them what information I may have. At this point, I have quite a significant library. And so, the point of the Hemp Foundation is to improve things, right? And that means helping people to help themselves and helping us as a community, hopefully, to advance, to use this resource properly. What we think is
perfect.
Properly.
Yeah, great. So it's a great sort of a meeting place, a place to educate yourself, find answers, ask questions.
Exactly. And then as Tiger Drops hopefully scales up, I'll then be able to because I've got lots of half resources, if you know what I mean. And then I'll develop more resources to provide to people that they can then take into their community. And
absolutely.
If people are growing their own herb out there, it is easy to make your own products. And if you are growing your own herb, you can make your own products. If you do make your own products, why not take them out to the community? Why not sell them? And if you want to keep the bud for yourself, you want to keep the leaf for yourself, you can use the roots. There's lots of things you can do. But what we need to do, I think, is get the products to the people so that people understand it's more than just getting high.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. That's an awesome point there. Have you collaborated with any doctors directly, and have you got any doctors on the team or anything?
Have a look. So I co-founded it with Dr. Ben Jansen and Dr. Sarah Clark. There was a third doctor on there, but she's now on the board of the New Zealand Medical Association, so it's not really politic for her to be on there now.
Okay.
And I work with Dr. Graham Gulbranson, who's New Zealand's leading prescriber, and has pioneered, he has led the charge in New Zealand. The first year that he came out of the closet, so to speak, and advocated for cannabis was the same year that that I started doing my mahi. So he maintains his independence, which is best because it protects him from being, too closely associated with, activism. But I support doctors, Dr. Simon Bristow and Dr. Birgit McConaughey up at Koru Medical in Karikari up north. They're good people. Dr. Anna Harvey of the Cannabis Clinic. And when people come to me and I think they should see those people, they're the doctors that I refer them to.
Now, how does that go as far as referrals? Like, is there a list? Is it generally a personal referral? How does that go?
So if I have someone who comes to me and they need more than I can offer, then I refer them to the appropriate medical professional. Because like I gave a guy 20 bottles the other day, right? And we won't go into the details why. Hey, a sale!
See, the show works.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's one of our viewers.
Thank you, viewers. But I can only.
You sold. How was it? You got him a bunch of bottles and.
I gave him 20 bottles of this. Because I it was obvious that his family needed some holy oil, and it's complicated, I operate in a strange area.
Yes. Okay. We've got more questions from the chat. This one here. As it is clearly part of the anatomy, why is it not taught in training medical students?
That's an excellent question. If I'd got out of here a little bit earlier, I'd have nice graphics to show you. So I'm going to use my hands instead. So it is taught, but it's partially taught, right? So
Yeah.
GPCRs, G protein coupled receptors, are the largest, most diverse and important receptor system in the mammalian kingdom, right? GPCRs. So receptors are like a keyhole, and they have a ligand, which is a signal which fits in the receptor and causes an action reaction, right? So the largest, most complicated keyholes in our body, in our tissues, are GPCRs, right?
Yeah.
And they teach that. But what they don't teach is that the molecule that fits with them, that makes stuff happen, is a cannabinoid. Yeah. And they also don't teach that these cannabinoids are derived from essential fatty acids. So what they don't teach at medical school is nutrition, and they don't teach the effect of nutrition at the cellular level, right?
Okay.
They teach pharmacology and anatomy. So it kind of misses the middle bit.
Okay, looking back at the chat, is there a recommended dose for each daily holy anointment? What did you say earlier? I think you said start slow and monitor the effects.
So if I take off my Tiger Drops hat, all right, and I put on my Hemp Foundation hat, which is just a receding hairline, then overseas, when people use cannabinoid-based products, they start low, go slow, and work it out. And what this usually means is a drop under the tongue, morning and night for the first week, then 2 drops the second week, 3 drops the third week, 4 drops the fourth week, and so on, until those people find benefit, and then they dial it back a drop. Yeah. Okay. And that will be what they do. But I can't recommend, and I must insist, people do not do that with my products, because my products are prohibited foods and not intended for the treatment or prevention of any disease or condition.
Okay, that is duly noted. Thank you very much for that clarification. Interesting stuff. Okay, so so there's different strains of cannabis. You mentioned that the Queen, was it Queen Victoria? Was it
Queen Victoria?
Queen Victoria enjoyed indica, a lovely indica strain.
Tincture, yes.
Tincture. How would she have had her? How would she have consumed or had that medicine?
She may have put it under her tongue. She may have put it in her belly button. She may have put it on her temples.
Okay.
She may have put it on her wrists.
So and was it a tincture, as you say?
Yeah, tincture. So she most likely used an alcohol tincture. Cannabinoids are hydrophobic. They resist water, but they dissolve in fat and alcohol.
So that's why sometimes you'll see a spray, and that spray will have an alcohol base, similar to the way that homeopathic is in a way.
I'm not familiar with homeopathy, really. Maybe that is a tincture. Yeah, is that herbs and spirits?
I think so. Yeah, I think with homeopathy, I think they put a very small amount in a spirit. But yeah, I mean, I know that with cannabis, the tinctures are often in sunflower oil.
They shouldn't be. Hemp seed oil is a great oil for it, but it does oxidize. MCT oil is the best oil for keeping terpenes stable. There is rapeseed used. There are other oils used, but my pick would be either an alcohol tincture or my pick would be an MCT oil, probably as the base, or a hemp seed oil if you're super fancy, because that's got that perfect ratio of omega-3s and 6s as well. It's like,
Right.
better than fish oil, better than fish oil. So, yeah, hemp seed oil or MCT oil are really good carriers. Olive oil is traditional.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, also good.
Yeah, olive oil is traditional. Okay, so is that what would have been used in the holy days of biblical times?
Exactly. 9 pounds, mate, nearly 5 kilos of weed in 10 liters of olive oil with double that much myrrh, cinnamon, and cassia fistula. This was some potent oil. And surprise, surprise, it was reserved for the priest kings who ruled the tribe. Let no man among you make any oil like it, lest you be cast out from your people.
Wow. A lot of a lot of history, a lot of stories, and it's interesting the teachings. How I suppose you've got a lot of the Christians, Christianity, going to church, very holy people, would never for a minute want to even consider that their Lord and Savior could possibly be
I've been a stoner.
anointed
100%.
with cannabis.
Well, that's going to be interesting. COVID's really put a dent in my plans, because this year was supposed to be my year of going to churches. Right.
Yeah, that could have been quite brilliant.
Because I need missionary people, mate. I need missionary people.
Of course you do. Yeah. Some people to spread the good word and go door to door and preach and save
I'd have been
people.
going door to door if it wasn't for the pandemic as well, because you can't really get in shops, you can't really get out. It's like it's hard.
So is that what you do? Do you actually work the street? And I mean, you mentioned that you were doing raffles and things like that, working the street, pounding the pavement. But do you also do a bit of door knocking as well?
I haven't done that yet. I did when I stood for Auckland District Health Board. I knocked on heaps of doors. But yeah, I just take every opportunity. My kids say I'm kind of boring.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I hear you. Oh, that's funny.
And they're right.
Yeah, I mean, are there any sort of exciting ways that we can sort of share this message with the younger generation that might think that this is all a bit blasé and uninteresting?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. It's this field usually is not interesting to people until they get sick, but it's so much bigger than pot, and it's so much bigger than health even, because everyone's fighting over these invisible pieces of pie in markets that haven't even been created yet. And you've got this resistance against the entire industry from all of these existing industries, most of whom are polluting our world, destroying our environment, and poisoning our bodies, but they've got market power. So, this is the struggle. How do we get it out there? So I really want people to see it as actually a strategic resource that we can't grow enough of, and we can't get enough of into our supply chains for lots of different things. But it is we're going from 0 to 1, and which is a lot. It's hard, and then we're hoping to do it at big scale in lots of established industries. Like it's a giant task, and what it really requires is actually the state. It actually requires the state to do infrastructure and set it up. But right now, the way it's all set up, it's all controlled and just suffocated. We're doing what the Canadians did, and that cost Canadian farmers $50 billion, over 20 years in lost revenues. And not just that, opportunity cost. opportunity cost.
Yeah.
To develop an industry, develop markets, get things happening. That's the real cost. And I mean, I don't know, hello, we live in a horror movie. Climate change, fuck, we need freakier words than climate change. Our extreme weather future is here.
Yeah.
Gisborne had 2 months of rain last night, right?
Yeah, well, that's it, Yeah. What kind of shocked me is that we couldn't manage to legalize cannabis yet. At Rhythm and Vines and all these rave parties, they want to legally have people there testing people's illicit bloody
Class
party
A's.
drugs.
I know.
Fucking sickening news. What do people want for their children?
Yeah, it's
What are
just
the hopes?
interesting. People are afraid. I had Mark Ellis telling me, "Oh, cannabis is stronger now than it's ever been." He's saying vote no, against it. And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, you know what? Like, it doesn't matter how strong it is. I mean, if you drink absinthe, right, it's 75%. You drink a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. It means that you don't have to fucking smoke as much. It's like running a higher octane fuel, isn't it? You're going to get better economy and maybe a little bit higher speed out of it.
That's how I think of it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, is the whole big pharma / paper textile industries argument or story the truth?
I can't say I know what's true, mate. His story, her story, and the truth, right? But there is a lot of evidence that the prohibition of hemp and cannabis comes down to bureaucrats wanting empires, to industries not wanting competition, to the control of markets and the control of consumers. I think that's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, I think that's well said. That's well said.
And if we take it, go on.
Oh, we've just got a quick question here in the chat. Do the drops help with? Do the holy drops help with nausea? And theoretically, would it be recommended to do a holy anointment if you were on other meds? And how long should you anoint for?
Hello there, Selena. Thanks for your question. So let's not talk about tiger drops. Let's make this a Hemp Foundation conversation, right? Many cannabinoids are recognized for nausea. Yeah. So in your body, cannabinoids have what's called a homeostatic effect, and that really just means leveling, equilibrium, right? Bringing your body towards balance. That's generally speaking what cannabinoids do, unless it's THC, which gets you high, right? As well as those homeostatic.
So it's just so let me just repeat that again. I was just changing your name there. You're saying the cannabinoids are, you sort of top them up.
So if you supporting your cannabinoid system, should help your body to maintain equilibrium. So it should help to reduce nausea. It should help to reduce pain. Understanding the cannabinoids, like the individual ones, is helpful for particular conditions. Because they overlap. They're similar but different. They overlap. They do the same thing but differently. So if, for example, you were to get a cannabinoid oil on a prescription, say, what you would do is you would put this oil under your tongue, and you would leave it there for 1 to 2 minutes to be absorbed under your tongue. And you'd do that twice a day, maybe 3 times a day. You'd start with 1 drop, and then after 3 to 5 days or a week, you'd go up to 2 drops, morning and night, maybe 3 times a day. 3rd week, you go up to 3 drops, and you just do that slowly. because what you want to do is
Yeah,
come
right. You kind
under
of
your
mentioned,
existing, at your cannabinoid level and just gently lift it, gently lift it until you feel you're getting benefit, and then you dial it back a drop, and that becomes your maintenance dose.
Oh, you're very good at explaining it. I think we sort of covered that earlier, but it was very gracious of you to go over that again. And that's an important thing to understand. So I think it is important to make sure that you take the time to explain it well. We've got a caller backstage. Are you there? Recap, Dave, we're going to bring you through now, buddy.
Yeah.
How you going, Recap? Welcome to the show.
How are you? How are you?
Mate. Good, mate. Nice to see you.
Benny. Hi.
Good, buddy. How are you enjoying the show?
Oh, that's all right. I've just tuned in about the last 5 minutes.
Okay, cool. Well,
So I'm listening to this guy talking about cannabis or cannabinoids and talking about how they take away pain and nausea, or can reduce it. That's good.
Do you have any sort of aches and pains or any sort of things that you think that would be helpful for, or
not really? No, not really.
Not really. Have you ever been one to I mean, at any stage through your life, have you ever smoked a joint or sort of had a cookie or anything like that?
I was given some when I left home, and I had some a few months before, and when I was 25, and also when I was like 18, I had a few puffs, but because I was on some medication, it made me more manic and more like I was riding my bike a lot, and I was I became hyperactive.
Yeah.
Made me hyperactive. Yeah. Made me talk even more.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It
See, I don't know. I don't know.
Different ways.
No, but Benny, I don't know what it would have done had I not been. I was on the medication first when I was 17, so that made me talk a lot more as well. And then, and all it did when I had the marijuana and I was drinking as well, it just confused me, you know.
Absolutely, I can completely, especially as a 17-year-old kid with already medicating.
And I confused everyone else. I just talked all about my problems. I developed millions of problems, and I told everyone.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting. I mean, initially, it could be sort of. My thought is, wouldn't it be brilliant if there were actual products available for you at that age in that situation?
No, I should never have been put on. I should never have been put on that medication. That medication.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm alluding to,
all
David.
The medication did made me talk.
Yeah. Just let me just hear me out. What I'm saying is, imagine if there was some medication, some CBD medication that could have been used in the first place. And maybe that could have actually leveled you out rather than these sort of pharma drugs that they seem to have had you on for quite some time.
Boarding school to sedate me because I was being bullied and called Cyril all the time, and that just made me psychotic. That medication made me psychotic and delusional, you know.
Heavy stuff. Okay, Dave, very interesting insight. We're going to be bringing you back. That was heavy. That's a heavy story. So he always... So recap, Dave's a real interesting character. He's a serial caller of Talkback Radio, and he's a fan of Thane's, and he comes on the show, and he's very candid about his dissatisfaction with pharma, with his dealing with his mental health, with the way they administer it, all these kinds of things. So very interesting insight there.
I see the question from Andrew. DuPont and synthetic fibers is part of it. It was also about paper. The Rupert Murdoch of the day, William Randolph Hearst. He had massive timber plantations. Cannabis hemp is a really effective source of fiber for paper making as well. But there's a lot of industries: alcohol, tobacco, pharma, timber, petrochemicals. There's a whole thing. Pharmaceuticals, right? about at least 55% of all medicines target your cannabinoid system, right? Because it regulates most function.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
If you want to do your
incredible,
fact checking, so Google on G protein coupled receptors. Professor Paul Insel from University of San Diego has some stuff, I think, on the Druggable Genome website.
Interesting stuff. We have got another. Well, this is actually our show intern. Selena Spain, are you there standing by backstage? Let's bring her through. Selena Spain, how's your show going?
Good. How's the sound with these earbuds?
Yeah, pretty good. Let me just bring the volume down just a little bit, and I think we're good to go. Now, did you happen to get on there and get yourself some holy oil yet?
No, because I actually never heard of it before, so it's all a learning curve for me.
Do you happen to have a question? Yeah. We've still got Tiger on the show. He's right here with us.
Hello,
yeah,
Selena.
well, it was very interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's just so much to process because I'm not
late on a Friday.
Familiar.
Yeah.
But it's just I mean, it's hard to break down into a simple question because you're so like advanced and educated about it. So
it's been 5 years of heavy reading. I totally get it. Don't worry. It actually broke my mind at one point. This thing, it's just a crazy field.
So I do have a little question.
Yeah, go. Take it away, Selena.
So, have you approached any politicians and had any pushback from them?
Yeah, I tried really hard to operate politically in the first few years. Traditionally I've been a Labour supporter, and because I was in Jacinda's electorate, I wrote to Mount Albert Labour and I let them know everything I was doing, all the GP conferences I was going to, all my survey results, all the findings from my research. Never got any replies. I couldn't join the local electorate committee, even though I was a member. My membership of the party became a problem. The only politician, I doorstopped heaps of politicians, made appointments with heaps of politicians. The only one who ever got the subject, like intellectually, was Winston Peters, which kind of surprised me. I knocked on his batch in Whananaki and, led him to believe I was good mates with Mark Ellis, who I've met once before. And he got it. He got that food was medicine. He got it. But his missus ran the New Zealand division of Johnson & Johnson. It's called Janssen Pharmaceuticals over here for 10 years. So it's possible that there's a conflict of interest there. And Winston has played a hand in keeping cannabis illegal over the years, as has Peter Dunn. I spoke to Jacinda about it, and she said I should come and talk to her, but then, I've never made any progress there. That none of the politicians act like they know anything.
Yeah, they're quite restricted, I guess, because of their own caucus and just all the red tape and all everyone they have to convince. So.
Apparently, ministers have to follow advice, pretty much. Like a strong minister can push back. And Andrew Little told me, "Oh, I'll push back. But I think it seems like, it's hard to know because you're outside, but it seems like the regulators do their thing, and their thing can be irrational and possibly illegal, and what looks like unethical, but they get away with it. And the politicians say, I'm just following advice. So it's like a perfect circle.
Question here in the chat. Thank you so much, Selena, for your question.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got a question here from Andrew David Cronk. Do you ever get tired of the fight, Tig?
Thank you, Andrew. That's a kind and thoughtful question. Yep. My children think I'm embarrassing. What I do is embarrassing, because I'm out there and I'm doing something which, most people think is, they don't think much of it if they think of it at all, or else they think it's ridiculous or whatever. and it's been hard. It's been financially hard, and it's been bad for my career as a school teacher. But I love it and believe in it. And the fact I've now managed to somehow, against the odds, create a product which I'm so far getting away with is thrilling. So the next step is to try and make it into something so that I can take my work to a much more professional level and start to operate at scale, because it's the one-on-one. The one-on-one's really important, to individuals, but it's broadcast. Broadcast is actually how you get it. And my focus of late has been on just each one, teach one, learn and share. Just, for the last few years, just trying to get people to understand so they can tell other people. But, and having the holy oil is hopefully a way of accelerating that, because, this is a complicated field with big words. But, when you can connect something to something, tangible, then that short circuits a bit of that.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. I think we're at this sort of interesting crux point here between we've got sort of like this instant online shopping, contactless delivery, same day shipping, e-commerce. You're actually doing a great job here, sort of adapting to the certain work environment by putting your work online, having a product, thinking innovatively, and doing God's work.
That's the one, brother. Spread the gospel of hemp. Language is everything, people.
Exactly. Okay, well, we're gonna bring Selena and recap in just towards the end of the show here. We're rounding up to the top of the hour. It's almost 11 p.m. Incredible on a Friday
We're both on
night.
portrait mode.
Oh, and look, we have got Puma. Puma is making
really?
Puma? Puma?
Oh, nice.
Puma.
Puma?
Wake up, kitty.
Puma? Puma?
Puma.
Puma?
Oh, we just had another sale, did we?
No, that's my reminder for me to log on to Genshin Impact so my son can get his premium gems.
Oh, perfect. You are a legend. Those gems are going to come your way. Hey, well, Tiger, I'm going to let you go. Okay, thanks so much for the show. Did you have any final parting words that you wanted to share, or any websites that you wanted to quickly drop the links to?
If anyone has any questions about the field, just learn at thehempfoundation.org.nz. If I can help you, I will. I can't talk Tiger Drops there, but I can talk science, information, stuff like that. If anyone wants a holy oil or a novelty cannabis collectible, then tigerdrops.co.nz. Please just take an interest, and it's the over 60s who are really driving the market overseas. Just talk to your parents, your grandparents, whatever. Bone up on the endocannabinoid system, and just explain how and why medical cannabis works to them. And anyway, just be in touch, and I'll help if I can.
Perfect. Wow. Thank you so much. Very insightful. Hey, I'm going to let you go, Tyke. Thanks very much for being on the show
Cheers,
tonight.
Selena. Cheers, Recap.
Bye, thanks.
Happy weekend. Happy weekend, folks.
Good on you, and happy gem hunting.
Cheers, bud.
Okay, cool. So, how did you get on? You had a good show, Selena?
Yes. Got there in the end. A little bit messy earlier on, but really enjoyed Yvonne. It was really cool. This guy stayed for longer. So Tig.
Perfect.
Right? Yeah.
Tight show. Hey, thanks, Selena Spain, for joining us on the show. I'm going to let you go. Okay, I appreciate you for logging in, and keep looking for those guests, because we need some guests like Tig to fill out the back end of the show, because we're struggling. Don't start booking guests. Don't start booking guests for Thane. We need them back at this part of the show.
Oh, so I need to get them into this.
Yeah, get them in this part of the show.
Yeah.
Just bring them on through.
Okay.
It doesn't need to be organized. Just get them in here when they can. Okay.
I might need an email of yours.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks, Selena
Yep.
Spain. We'll let you go. Okay, and recap, Dave. How did you find the show, my buddy? Did you have a good old time?
I've only heard the last 20 minutes of it, so that was good. But
It was high energy, good
I'm
positivity.
I'm sorry for talking over the top of you before. I was a bit loud and a bit over talking. But are you there?
I'm there, mate. You go right
Oh,
ahead.
yeah.
That's not a
I'm
problem.
just saying, I'm interested. You said I'm a serial talkback caller. Have you heard me? Or am I?
Oh, mate,
Does
very
everyone know
distinctive
that?
voice. I've got a feeling that I might have heard you call up Leighton Smith or
I did
Pam
talk to him once.
Corkery or what's her name?
I have. I've
Angela
talked to them.
Giordani or maybe even
I
Tim
talked.
Roxburgh.
I talked to
Yeah.
Angela Giordani in the 1990s before she died, about 1995.
She's dead?
She died around 1997 or something, or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's shit news. I didn't need
I
that.
talked to Leighton
news.
Smith. I talked to Leighton Smith a few times, but not really. That was years ago. And I talked to Pam Corkery once or twice. Yeah, that was. You see,
Yeah, she's a corker.
Have you
She's a
been
real
listening to Talkback?
fucking
Have
corker,
you been?
that one.
She's amazing. Have you been listening to Talkback for 30 years?
Not really. Well, you know, I'm almost 40 now, but I think I might have heard you call in from time to time. I don't really know, mate. But you know, look at you. You just turned up so down. You've got your wife beater shirt on. You're showing off your arms there. You look like you're all ready for summer, buddy.
Yeah. And there's Puma again. I'll show you everyone Puma. There's Puma. Puma?
Okay, well,
So,
Puma can take out the show.
Wake him up so I can hear you and see you. Puma, look. Puma?
Puma, wake up for the show. We've got people here.
Puma, look. Look at the Puma, look. Puma. He's a bit tired. He's been hearing the fireworks tonight. I don't think he likes the noise.
Puma.
He likes the noise of the fireworks. Puma. See what he's doing? He's seeing you. He can see you. Put yourself on. Put yourself on video so he can see you. Matt, that Billy? Billy?
Hang on. Let me just switch the screen around.
Benny, look.
Puma.
Puma, look.
Puma.
Puma, look.
Hey, Dave, I think this is taking too long. I'm trying to...
He's
I'm gonna let
sleeping.
you go. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, see you later. See ya.
Good night, mate. Okay, well, we just had a freaking awesome show there. You were watching Talkback with Thane and Sophia, and I've just been doing a little show which I like to call Talking Smack with Benny Mack. Boom, but hey, thanks so much to our incredible presenters, Thane, Kirby, Sophia, Mantell, Luke, Dello, and your brother here, Benny Mack. You have been watching live on the internet. Either you watched it live or you're watching a freaking replay. And, you know, just because it's the right thing to do, if you were interested in those links, again, here they are again, www.thehempfoundation.org.nz. You can go on there. You can become a member of the foundation. It's free. Or you can get on over to www.tigerdrops.co.nz to get a hold of some of that holy oil or that hilarious product. It's a hilarious novelty cannabis product. Gets me every time. And you have been watching this broadcast. And it has been, as I said before, on the free internet. Of course, why not check out our website while you're at it? We've got a freaking website alert, and it's talkback.co.nz. If you've got more money than you know what to do with, I suggest you go over there and you just transfer all those thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars across into our account. We will gladly receive them, and we will convert them into appropriate technology to keep the show on the air. And that's what we've done here. What an incredible opportunity. That's about it. I'm going to wrap the show up tonight. You've been watching Talkback with Brother Thane and Sister Sophia. Good night, everyone.